Hello and welcome to Virtual Card and a Cuppa with me, Fiona Whitten. So welcome back. We have been on a break over the summer. So this is the first one since, July, my goodness. And I want to share what we got up to this morning along with making another card live on here. And I'm just double checking that this is working, and I think it is, which is good. Yep, that's okay. So as I said, yep, this is the first one since the summer break. Kids are back in school, so things are a little bit quieter around, especially at Home Grange, because they have a lot of summer activities on and it gets a bit manic there. But anyway, so today we were over at the Home Grange at the chocolate cafe, and this was the kit that we used this morning, and I will talk you through it. So it features items from the Gone Fishing, or Let's Go Fishing, I should say, suite. Yeah, Let's Go Fishing suite. I'll talk you through that in a minute, but I'll just talk you through quickly the actual kit. So the paper has more of a very vanilla background rather than a basic white. So it's not often we make cards and things with a very vanilla background, but this was today's. So we have a very vanilla, thick card base. We have 3 of the pieces of paper from the Let's Go Fishing Designer Series paper. So they're double-sided, so people could choose which sides they wanted to use. So we have 2 for the front and 1 for the inside. Then we have this rather interesting die cut. So this is one of the dies from the Gone Fishing die set. And it's to create a tackle box, but I think you can actually use it for all sorts of things. So, and that's what we did today. These pieces are the various bits that were from inside. I got cut out. So we have those. We had some twine, and we also had some of these sweet little dots. So these are from the classic matte dot set. It comes with, I seem to remember now, basic white, vanilla, black and basic grey. So there's 4 colours in there. So it's a very versatile set of dots that you can use for an embellishment. So that was the kit. And I don't have all the paper still, because I cut so much up for making the kits and things and for other things recently. So I can't show you the actual paper in person, but this is the paper that we used. So it's designed to go with Wild Wheat, Mossy Meadow, Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue, Pebble Path and Very Vanilla. And then this is the stamp set. And I'll show you the stamp set because I have that, and I also have the dies. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to actually create the kit. So this is the stamp set. And all the images that you can see, all 16 of them. So there are, some of these are designed so that you actually stamp one image and then stamp the second image over the top, and which is called 2-step stamping. So you have various images for 2-step stamping. So we have some floats, different floats for fishing, a fly. That's another sort of float. Although someone said actually you could use it as a Christmas bauble, which is true. We've got a fish, and then we have some sentiments. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentiments. It's nowhere near Father's Day here in the UK. We've well past that. So that wasn't one that we were going to use today. So as you can see, it's a clear photopolymer stamp set, which means that when you use it, you need to have something slightly with a bit of give underneath when you're stamping, which just helps make sure that you get a clear impression. Now these are the dies. And the main die, well, the only die I actually say I used for the kit was this particular one. So you can use that to make a tackle box. You can use it to make a lunch box. You can do all sorts of things. One of those bento boxes if you're into sushi and Japanese lunches and things. So that was the die that I used. But say there's one for the fish, I can't remember what it's called now. I just said it a minute ago. The fly, whatever, the float. And then various other things. So that's the dies. And I'll share with you the 3 cards that I made as samples. Being the first time back, I kind of kept things very, very simple. So this was the first one that I made, and I simply glued the 2 strips of paper behind the die cut, and then used one of the pieces that came out of the centre here. So this one was the one that I think that's the one, yeah, that's the one that came out of that slot there. Stamped it in Pebble Path. No, it is Pebbled Path, yes. Go mad for a minute, and then just tied a piece of the twine around, added a dot, and put that on some dimensionals on the card front, and then simply glued some of the paper inside. So as I said, keeping it very simple. This one is sort of a variation on that, other than the fact that I've moved the 2 from the left to the right. So you have 2 here and you have 3 here. And I turned this piece of paper, the checked piece of paper, over so that it had the fish. So as you'd expect with a paper called Let's Go Fishing, there are lots of fish on the paper. The small fish, big fish, so these are just kind of the biggest fish. So that was that. The twine I actually tied around just here rather than tying it around the sentiment, because the sentiment takes up all of that space. But then I added a little dot to the O on the 2. And again, I simply put some paper on the inside. So those were the sort of the 2 on the same theme. So both of those, the Happy Retirement and the Good Things Come to Those That Wait, because let's face it, if you go fishing, there can be a lot of waiting around, were the 2 sentiments that were used on here. And then this 3rd card, again, instead of having the striped, I turned it over and used the paper that had the flies on. But again, used the check, and then rather than putting the sentiment sort of anywhere on the front, I sort of hovered it over the space where it actually came out. So Wishing You the Best Birthday Ever, that actually came from a different stamp set. I know when I do these card in the cuppa, everyone's usually wanting birthdays. So I did take a few birthday sentiments with me. So this particular one, Wishing You the Best Birthday Ever, came from the Season of Chic stamp set. So it's this sentiment here. But really you can use whatever sentiment that you want that will fit in, or on, I should say, any of these die cut pieces. So again, I tied the twine around, added a dot, and simply glued the paper in. So these are just 3 variations on the theme. Very simple, but it's surprising just how you can change them out. and get different looks. So those are the 3 that went this morning. Now this afternoon, I need to come up with something else with my actual kit. So here's, bring my kit back again. I don't need those dots. So when what I normally do is this video gets uploaded, this recording I should say, will get uploaded to YouTube. And when I do that, I always put the cutting instructions. So the sizes for these papers and things will be on the video, which should be up on YouTube later in the week. If not tomorrow, it depends on how things are the rest of today. So as you can see, that it's cut so that it will fit just nicely behind. You will find that there is an overlap, but that's okay. You're not going to see that from the front. Now I could, and this is what I'm proposing to do today. I'm going to be really brave, and I'm going to cut this paper up so that I can have a real, I wouldn't say mishmash, but what I'm going to do is, I should have a pencil really. Sorry, I'm trying not to do any heavy breathing. Right, let's see. So I'm going to mark this sort of where this line, there's like almost like a score line. So that's that. And then this one, again, I'm going to do exactly the same again. And now I'm going to be very brave, and I'm going to cut this paper just so that I can then actually change it, so I can have the flies on one side and other things on the other. Just cut this into the 3. I'm just lining up that pencil mark with the middle of the, if you can see here, where the groove is, where the blade slides up and down. If you line where I've marked it in that and then cut it, it should, in theory, be of the right size. So we have those 3, we have those 2, like that, and then we have my... Now, I don't know if I want to put this so that it is... Now, the only issue with this is that we're going to have the flies going side to side if I have it on a landscape. So I think I'm going to stick with the vertical. It's that bit. That's it. So these 2 are not of the same length, so you do need to be careful, and then you'll find that these 2 are the same, these 2 here, and then that one is slightly fatter. So I'll put that one in there just because I want to see. Let's see, what's this now? Okay, so that, I quite like that fish there. Like that, and then I think I'm going to have that. I've turned it this way just so that I can see what it's going to look like, because the alternative is to have that fish. Actually, that's quite nice to have as well. That fish up there, the 2 fishies up there, that piece there can go there, that bit there. Now I'm kind of undecided whether or not to put, make sure the flies are the right way round, put that underneath there or not. But I think I will. So all that's needed is a thin bead of glue to go all around. So you don't need to be too heavy-handed with it all. And I'm just going to do it one at a time to make sure that I have the right image in the right place. So he's there, like that. So this one will be the checked piece. I just need to make sure that that's the right way round. Like so. And then again, this piece here is going to be the fish. So turn it that way. Try and get it square so that at least the fish are kind of floating. Well, it doesn't matter, I suppose fish go up and down as well as side to side, don't they? There we go. So I'm going to stick to that. Right, I just need to let that dry, otherwise I'm going to have a problem. And then this piece here is going to go on here like that. You can get quite gluey with this, but it's a lot of fun just to be able to play with these pieces and just change the layout, change the patterns to whatever it is that you want. So let's see now. Hopefully all that has stuck. So that's that. That will go on the card front like that. Now someone commented today that the die doesn't sit in the centre of the card front. And yes, that is very much the case, simply because the dies were originally, as is everything in the Stampin' Up world, it's designed to go on to a US card. So, and their cards is actually a slightly different size to ours. So I personally, I don't let that bother me. I just make sure that it's centered as much as I can, top and bottom and side to side, which is pretty easy to do. Okay, right, now I haven't put this other piece of paper behind here, simply because I'm not sure that I want to at the moment. Now I could put that piece in, like so, which is what I was thinking of doing. So I'm just going to leave that to one side for the moment. And I'm just going to grab, because I did take with me this morning some scrap card with me. So I've got some scrap, very vanilla. There we go. And I've got a different stamp set with me. This did go this morning. I'm trying to think whether it got used or not. I don't know. Yes, it did. So the just love spending time with you and the Just For You did get used today. So, but I want to use the Happy Birthday, and I like this because I like the vertical. I like the fact that the sentiment goes up and down. And what I am going to do is I'm going to stamp it, and it's not going to fit on here, as you can see, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it so that it will fit. So if I just put that on there, I need some. Now we could go with the, let's see, Misty Moonlight or the Pebble Path. I think I'm going to stick with Pebble Path, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to, stamp this. Like so. And then I'm just going to quickly cut around it. So trying to keep it as straight as I can, but I'm not going to be too worried about it. If you're really worried about it, then if you want to get your trimmer out and do it that way, then by all means. Just sometimes I find it just easier to fussy cut it. So the birthday is going to go here. The happy is going to go obviously next to it because it's not going to fit top and bottom. So we've got happy birthday here like that. So that's that. I haven't finished yet, and then I'm going to do a fish. So I'm going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight. He's a very grand fish. Don't know if it's a trout or a carp, quite frankly. I'm sure my daughter could tell me. She's a pretty keen fisher person, fisher woman. Let's see, let's just put that on there like that. That's that. Close that up. Put my glue out the way. That one. Misty Moonlight. Stampin' blends, and I want the light one. And this will come out once it's dried a lot lighter than what it looks like. And then you can either fussy cut it or you can use a die, and I'm going to use the die. So that's the die that I need. And I'm going to use my mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine. Oops, don't really want that on there. Cool. Cool, just looking at this and I'm trying to figure out why it looks so large. But I think it's because I moved the arm about on the where my phone goes, and it's all of a sudden it just looks really huge. So sorry about that. So hello to everyone watching. There we go. And I use a bit of washi tape just to hold it in place because we don't have a magnetic plate for this. Now the idea is that I'm going to put my fish on over here, but actually looking at it now I'm not so sure, quite frankly. So maybe I won't. And maybe I'll just leave it as it is. My goodness. But what I am going to do is I'm going to glue this, to the card front. Oops. You don't, as I said, you don't need a lot on the frame. You don't really need a lot at all, full stop. Try not to go too mad with it. That bit there is going to come squidging out, I know. Wipe it on my hands. It comes off, it washes off, so hey, what the heck. Right, let's try and make sure that it's even top and bottom, side to side. like so. A happy birthday, I want to put that on with some dimensionals. So let me just grab them. Now I find that if I've got thin strips like this, then the easiest thing to do is actually just cut off from the edges a strip and put it on, rather than trying to chop up whatever square, hexagon, whatever it is that you've got in your whatever shape you have. I like these because they seem to fit an awful lot, and you can just easily, let's see, don't need to cut off too much because I've already got a bit. So let's put, I'm going to put it fairly high up, and you'll see why in a second. It's not quite equal spacing. Because I'm going to use my bit of thread, tie it around the bottom. Go around a couple of times, I think. Or maybe even 3 times. Just. And I'm not going to tie a bow, I'm just going to tie a simple knot. Just need to make sure it doesn't slip too much. If it does, don't worry, you can always fix it by tying it on the back and using some tape or a dimensional or something to hold it in place so that it doesn't, oops, she says, trying to, you know what, I'll undo that a second. So get that a bit longer. Probably gone back to exactly the same place. My husband gets annoyed with me because I always insist for some silly reason of reversing a car into a space, and if I don't get it straight, then I will go backwards and forwards until I am. And my husband just goes, why don't you get it right in the first place? And it's just like, this feels like that sometimes. And I think I've gone back to exactly the same spot I had with that before. There we go. And it's easy enough to move around or just leave as it is. Let's cut that off. And that off. So that is going to go here, but I'm going to put that on with dimensionals as well. And then I'm going to look and see whether or not I do want to put that fish on. So you can hold this on with that. There we go. Try and get that exactly in the slot there. So that's that. I do kind of like him, but I'm not sure. What do you reckon? Put him on or not? Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to use my mini dimensionals for this. Like that. There's all sorts of things happening this month. New catalogue went live today. So that's the September to December mini catalogue. What else have I got to do? Oh, I've got some of those little dots, haven't I? There they are. To use. Don't know whether I should, where I should put them. Keep hold of them for a second. Yep, so we've got a new catalogue. We've also got some new paper, which is part of the online exclusives. So there's 5 new packs of paper. Put the third one on somewhere as well. Put him there. The heck. And then also one of the sets of paper in the new mini catalogue is actually part of the product give back. So every year Stampin' Up donate part of the proceeds from either a stamp set or paper and things like that. And this year it's paper. So it's called Walk in the Park. And I will show you it in 2 ticks. I'll just finish off this card. Put this on the inside. Like so. Oops. There we go. Scissors. There they are. Just trim that bit off. Just should have flattened that before I did anything, but hey. So there is that card. I do think, excuse me, I'm just trying to get my Wink of Stella. I might just put some Wink of Stella on this fish. That's depending on what, I don't know, whether it's a trout or a carp. They always look kind of shiny-ish. There we go. So that is my 4th card. Yes, I was going to quickly show you the paper that is part of the product give back. So it's here. So it's called A Walk in the Forest. Looks like this. So it has bears, it has berries, trees, all sorts of things, stripes. And £2.50 from each of those packs. Sold here in the UK is going to get will be donated to the Salvation Army. So I just thought I should mention that, and that's for, I think that's for the whole life of this catalogue. So it runs from today to the 4th of January. Yeah, and now I can actually show you the insides as well, but I'm not going to do that today because let's face it, I'm actually doing something else. So this is the card that I've made today, this afternoon. And then these are the 3 cards that I took to the in-person event this morning over at Home Grange. So there you go. See, I'm trying to arrange them so you can at least see most of them. How does that work? Just about, I think. Yep. So those are the 3 cards that went to Card and a Cuppa, and then this is the 4th that I've just made now. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. As I said, this will get uploaded to YouTube later in the week, and then that will have all the instructions and details of everything that I've used so that you can order items from your demonstrator. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to help you out. So there will be links on the video, so you can get in touch. And so next week should be a stamping and creating week. For those of you who are first time here watching a Card and a Cuppa, the Card and a Cuppa is on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month. So next week is a stamping and creating day, and then the following Wednesday will be another virtual Card and a Cuppa. So if you want a kit, You can order October's by visiting my blog, which is oakvillecrafts.com. And if you click on classes and events, which is at the top, it's the top tab, and then there's like a little pop-down menu. You click on Card and a Cuppa, and you can order October's and November's kits from there. And I will see you hopefully next week at Stampin' and Creating. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.